What's going on, everybody? It's BJ. I wanted to hop on here with one of my very first ever mentees, and now actually one of the co-owners of my business. Almost all the guys that are co-owners of my business, I started off menteeing. We all started our wholesale journeys at different times, but I wanted to come on here and go over exactly where we are today, how we started wholesaling, how I started, and how I was able to work in his life to help him close his first deal. But yeah, let's jump straight into
guys?
it.
My name's Eli. I've been wholesaling for about 2 years now. Me and BJ started around the same time.
Yeah.
But honestly, I kind of want to come on here myself to tell my story and how I started wholesaling and stuff like that. But
Right.
obviously, we both started wholesaling around the same time. I started working with my two friends our senior summer. I think we started at the same time, right?
Yeah. Senior summer. We graduated 2023, so that summer thereafter, that's when I started. I had closed my deal already by then, so I started a little bit before that. And then, I went into the summer still wholesaling. But yeah, let's go.
So we're in the summer, started wholesaling. Honestly, it was not going too great. We were kind of doing all like the stuff you see on YouTube. If it's like, going to like your government office and like pulling the lists and like all that stuff that like, really doesn't work. So we're doing that. Saw like some traction. We had like a few deals we had gotten, but it truly didn't really work how we wanted it to. Then that summer, we started working for this guy. His name's Fred. He was kind of mentoring us a little bit, but like kind of like dragging us along, kind of having us doing his dirty work. Honestly, I'm not surprised because obviously we know like, in real estate and business, you're going to kind of eat shit in the beginning.
Right.
It is what it is, but kind of had that experience. Then I had quit. My two friends, I kept working with them, and then I kind of started doing my own stuff. But I mean, at that time, were you closing deals a lot? Or?
Yeah. So at that point in time, right, you guys started working with Fred over that summer, like our 23 summer. By then, I was already like real wholesaling full time. That was like my full time thing. No other job. I was closing deals. At that point in time, I was probably doing maybe like 1 to 2 deals a month, right? But I was like really getting my feet wet with how to wholesale, put together a real replicatable model. Because my first 3 deals, fun fact, closed all in different ways, right? Facebook Marketplace for sell by owner, cold calling. So I didn't have like a real replicatable model in place, but the good thing is it was a variety of different things. So that helped me know how to close my first deal. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's keep going. So you're working with Fred.
We're working with Fred.
You quit now.
Yeah, so I quit. So after that, I really was like kind of tired of it because I kind of got drugged through the dirt with that situation.
So at this point, you probably thought wholesaling was like
yeah. So I didn't think it was like not feasible, but it just was kind of like on the back of my mind at that point. So I started working on other stuff, made some money, and then from there, I mean, then I kind of started getting back into it. I kind of dip my feet into it here and there. I was like obviously still interested in real estate, but not like truly where I wanted to like actually be calling every single day.
Right.
But yeah, I started a few different businesses with Nate, and then from there, after that, kind of just I think that was when I started making money with content, and then I started getting back into wholesaling.
Yeah.
Did some flips, and that's when we met. Once I started doing flips, so that was like what 4 months ago.
Yeah. 4 months ago, that's when we met. We met to actually partner up on a flip. So we actually are. We're partnered on 2 flips right now. Partnered on 2 flips. So that's how we met in regards to real estate. We met because we partnered on flips. But then when we started flipping, I was wholesaling, of course, and then you just were interested in that, right?
Yeah. So I started doing that. And then honestly, at that point, I had actually still not closed the deal yet. I don't think. Yeah. So then started kind of taking it a little bit more seriously. You were wholesaling. I saw it kind of as a good opportunity. That wasn't like kind of bullshit. It was obviously we were working together at that point, so there wasn't really like just like the need for usage or like for me to call for you. So you kind of started helping me with that at that point. That's kind of when we started like kind of working together, and you kind of like started guiding me through the process, and Nate and Ethan.
Yeah.
And then now we're kind of at the point where like actually
working together and stuff like that. Yeah. So essentially, at least from my POV, right, we were flipping. Boom, he was like, all right, I want to get into wholesaling. So we started getting into the wholesaling situation. I was working with him every single day. You just really started hitting the phone, start getting things going.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the issue was like, I knew how to wholesale. I knew how to like cold call. I had done some sales jobs in the past. So I knew how to do all that stuff. Just the main issue was like there's something that was like missing. I don't know what it really was. But I was like just missing something that was like not helping me get to that point. So I feel like that's kind of how wholesaling is. It's like you can call and you can do all these different things, but there's like small tweaks you have to do to kind of be able to actually close those deals and get them pushed through. So at that point, I feel like I really just needed help, like kind of getting past that point of like where I wasn't closing any deals.
Yeah. So essentially, the very first thing that I saw was when he was wholesaling. He had the same issue I had in the beginning of my wholesaling business, and that issue was wholesaling the wrong market. Right? Him and all his friends, they all started working with me around the same time. All of them had been calling for a while and closed no deals. Small tweaks we made, being the first switching markets, right? So we boom.
Yeah, that was a really big one. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we were like kind of calling different markets at that time. We had kind of broken off from like the Fred guy. I believe like they were working with them, then we all stopped working and started calling different markets. And honestly, in the first week we saw a deal.
Yeah.
That wasn't a big deal, but it definitely like obviously helped like solidify like the thought in your mind like, okay, it can work, you can do it. But yeah, so we had that deal, and at this time is kind of when you started kind of like mentoring more people.
Yeah.
You had already mentored me, and they kind of walked me through the process of like how to actually do it. And obviously that went super well, but yeah.
No, yeah, 100%. So, yeah, let's just jump in and talk about your very first deal. It was in Lancaster, right?
Yeah, so it was in Lancaster. I think it was like a single family, like 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom. I don't think it was too big.
Yeah, it was a tiny house. It was under 1,000 square foot.
So it was like, it wasn't too big. I mean, we got it for a good deal. Obviously, they were having kind of issues with like payments and stuff, so it was kind of easy to close that first deal. It was obviously when people had motivation, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
I got kind of lucky with that one just because like it was like a kind of clean cut kind of deal. I feel like also the big thing people don't really realize with wholesaling is like it takes time to like build a pipeline.
No, it
I think
does.
we're kind of seeing that in our business right now that we're working on is like obviously we're calling every single day. We have callers overseas, but like it takes time to kind of build that pipeline where like deals are actually flowing in like constantly, and you're doing like 4 to 6 to 10 deals every single month. But yeah, so we had that deal, went pretty smooth. I feel
it
like
went pretty smooth. Yeah,
it closed pretty quickly. But
yeah, I think that one closed in 2 weeks. It was a 2-1 right there in Lancaster, less than 1,000 square foot. We have a huge buyers network out there, right? We worked on that one together. That process was quick. Our buyer went in, one walkthrough, got that deal done. Super cookie cutter. It's not saying that's how wholesaling is overall, but that happened to be a cookie cutter one, right? But one thing I do want to ask you is, how do you feel like the process was before you start working with me and after working with me in regards to talking to sellers?
I feel like I had never had an issue with talking to sellers, but I feel like the biggest thing that people like kind of struggle with when it comes to wholesaling is finding buyers. And I feel like finding buyers is easier than finding sellers, and people like kind of mix up the two. They're like, oh, like finding like sellers is like the easiest thing. Finding buyers is hard, right? I said that right, yeah. So finding buyers, people think finding buyers is hard when it's pretty simple. Finding sellers is pretty much the hard thing. And I feel like honestly, finding buyers first is like the easiest way to go about it, rather than finding sellers in your market.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So after we got that deal closed, that's kind of when it kind of like solidified and it got a lot easier, just because now like I had some money to play with, and like I was able to like,
started to click.
Yeah, get some VAs and stuff to start calling for me, and that's kind of when the money started really coming in. Just because I mean, if you have some money, it's a lot easier. But like, after that first deal, it's kind of just like hit the ground off running, and now you're making a bunch of money. But yeah.
No, yeah, 100%. So the first deal right there in Lancaster, once the fire situation was closed, you were able to grow and expand. Now I remember after that, you were getting to a point where you're doing like a deal a month, right? Like you were consistently getting stuff going. Yeah. So wasn't closing anything, then it was just like an automatic switch, right? Because that's what I see a lot of times with my mentees, in all honesty, right? Like even with you and even Ethan and Nate, you guys meet them at some point in time. A lot of times it's small tweaks you have to make in your wholesaling to get to where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like for you guys, it was just you guys knew all the key
basic
components.
stuff. Yeah, like
it was just simply switching markets and little like effective strategies to change, right? So that little switch of switching markets took you guys from not closing deals to consistently closing deals. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are the type of stuff. And then that was one of the big things I actually struggled with at the beginning of my journey as well, was being in bad markets. So yeah. Luckily the issues I had, I was able to remove from you guys' journey. So
yeah. I mean, from there, I mean, now we're just closing deals, started working together. Now we're building up a little wholesale company now, just together and doing that. And that's going pretty good, I feel like. But I mean, I feel like people kind of make it a lot more difficult than it really is. I feel like a lot of people make it like just seem like it's some hard thing to do, but it's just pretty simple. It's just about numbers. So
no, exactly. Wholesaling literally just about numbers, and then effectively conveying your numbers to both parties. If you can do that, you'll close money, you'll make deals. So yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, nah, for sure. So now we're, like you said, we're getting to it. We're fully launched the wholesale business. We're growing now with a great team of guys in the office. So yeah, we'll just keep you updated on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. It's how to start closing wholesale deals, keep it going. You feel me? Like, see you guys in the next vid, I guess. How else do you end this shit? What the fuck?